Welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports. Good to have you with us. I'm Ernie Johnson. Tonight, it'll be the Detroit Pistons going up against the Milwaukee Bucks. And now we go out to the BMO Harris Bradley Center with Kevin Harlan and the crew.
And the players exchanging a few friendly words prior to tip-off, the getting-to-know-you stage of the proceedings. Hello and thanks for joining us, 2K Sports fans, for another exciting presentation of NBA basketball. Along with Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. A quick check now at the starting five for both teams. Someone will be keeping an eye on Andre Drummond.
You know, that's exactly right. And what also comes to mind with him is his persistence on the offensive board. His second chance points always add up.
You can feel the energy here in the BMO Harris Bradley Center. The Bucks looking to please their fans in this Eastern Conference matchup. This game against Detroit here, it's their first meeting of the season. In a season ago, Clark, they won the matchup, winning 3 and losing just 1.
Yeah, and they took care of business against this group last year, winning the season series.
Yeah, Greg, you're right. They're the better team. I mean, they expect to win this matchup. We'll see if they can take care of business tonight.
And the Bucks arguably were the best story in the Eastern Conference last year. How about going from the bottom of the barrel to a 6th-place finish in that Eastern Conference?
So Detroit will get the first possession. Ilyasova sets a screen for Jennings. Feeds to Drummond. Johnson outside. Sinks the three-pointer. Johnson's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. And for the Bucks, a lot of their improvement came, Greg, as you're talking about, in their play against the Eastern Conference. They went 30-22, Clark, against the rest of the conference.
A nice step for a young team, but you look at it more closely. Basically, the Bucks beat teams they should have beaten, but you know, Kevin, the good teams do that consistently, so a good step for them.
Just 4 to shoot. Here's Middleton. The rebound by Brandon Jennings. For the Detroit Pistons, they come in off the loss to the Magic.
And the issues they had defensively, in part, I thought, was a huge factor. Really compounded, I think, because it was a road game for them.
Well, you know, they gave the crowd a bunch to cheer about. And when you do that, you put yourself in a really tough position trying to come away with the road win.
Now here's Middleton. Back to Antetokounmpo. Monroe outside. Kicks to Carter Williams. Antetokounmpo puts up a 3. Can't get it to go. Detroit's gone 1 of 3 from beyond the arc so far in the game. Johnson dishes to Drummond. Stolen by Middleton. Johnson over to help. Carter Williams kicks to Middleton. Back to Carter Williams. Shot clock at 6. Milwaukee needs to get off a shot here. And Middleton, the bucket on the assist from Antetokounmpo.
That's a layup for him. He's just too open. And still, I don't know that anyone can define what Giannis's position is. It's kind of still up in the air. I mean, he's played mostly on the wing a season ago, and thus far, maybe that could end up being the best fit.
Bucks have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. Carter Williams, the pass to Middleton. Dishes to Henson. Nice ball movement by Milwaukee. Monroe, defended by Ilyasova. Carter Williams kicks to Middleton. Just 5 to shoot. From 18 feet away. And the jumper falls for him. Middleton's got 5 now. The Pistons leading. Now about 3 minutes gone in the first quarter. Jennings kicks to Drummond. Johnson outside. Oh, that's blocked. Now, Antetokounmpo. They really needed more from him in that loss to New York. Back to Henson. He passes to Antetokounmpo. He kicks it to Middleton. Lets it go from deep. And a great assist by Antetokounmpo as that one goes in. That's now 8 points for Chris Middleton. For the Milwaukee Bucks, they come in off the loss to New York.
And really, they just shot their average from the free throw line in that game. I think that probably changes the outcome.
No doubt. I mean, because there is a carryover effect when you're not having success at the line.
Jennings can't get it to go. The Bucks have gone 3 of 5 shooting the ball so far. Screen by Monroe, and it's Antetokounmpo penetrating. Carter Williams dishes to Antetokounmpo. Shot clock at 5. Outside for Carter Williams. That one a little long. The Pistons trail it. Well, last season, the Pistons didn't reach the playoffs for the 6th consecutive season. They're making progress, but as we can all see, still have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, you know, they were spoiled for a while there. How about going to the playoffs for 1996 to 2009? So it's been a rough stretch here of late, but you get the feeling that the building blocks are in place for another push.
No good on that one.
And I bet most people forget that the Pistons did make the playoffs for 8 straight years before this current drought. It's been a long rebuild process for them recently, but I think they're making progress and moving in the right direction.
So Detroit ends up going with the new group. And the second free throw, good.
And for the Pistons, they seem to have a direction and plan now that just wasn't the case before. It won't be easy to get back into the postseason, but I really feel like they are on the right path.
Now here's Mayo. Backing him down. And there are the Bucks with another bucket. Pistons trailed by 3. .110 left to play in the first quarter. The drive by Jackson.
Those are chances almost always you can rely on him to get you 2 points, but the D just enough to keep him out of rhythm.
Copeland, good. And so it's Detroit with the ball. The dish now to Johnson. Passes it to Jackson. Sweet little floater.
He knew what he wanted to do all along. The teardrop.
They can trade 2 for 1 here.
Would be the right move, I believe, right now.
Lets it go from the wing. The rebound by Johnson.
A little ambitious on that possession, trying to hit a shot in the face of that defensive pressure.
Plumlee with the block. Out of bounds. Milwaukee takes possession. So for the Pistons, Joel Anthony comes in for Aaron Baines, and Marcus Morris subbed in for Johnson. .27 seconds left in the first. Here's Mayo. Pass to Copeland. It's hauled in by Tolliver.
Well defended, though, and he's not someone who handles that kind of pressure very well.
Jackson passes to Anthony. Now Bayless. There's the buzzer, and not much scoring at all through the first quarter of play. Bucks lead by 3. We've got more NBA basketball coming your way in just a minute.
It's a Halloween broadcast of the NBA. Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors go up against Anthony Davis and the New Orleans Pelicans. It's Saturday, 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific.
And off we go, a close game now starting the second quarter. When you consider how the Bucks are doing, what do you guys think?
Just almost an intimidating factor when you're able to go out and consistently come up with the block shots like they have defensively.
Well, what happens is shooters begin to start looking for the shot blocker, and it does intimidate them. For Bayless, it was his 6th team in 7 years last season. A good utility combo guard to have. He can score, he can make plays for others. He's really defined his role in this league.
Mayo out there with Jabari Parker. Then it's Vasquez. Then it's Miles Plumlee. And it's Vaughn in at the shooting guard. That's the group for Milwaukee right now.
He didn't get to that one quite in time, Kevin. Those can be tough to gauge sometimes.
And clearly you can hear what the crowd thinks about that call.
You sure can. I mean, they erupted as soon as that whistle blew. No time between the call and the eruption.
Talking about Jared Bayless, some thought he would be a star when he first entered the NBA, and he certainly had his moments, Greg, but inconsistency and turnovers have kept the lid on his progress.
Yeah, well, where I like Bayless is in spot plays. You need a lift, you need a smart offensively. You go see Jared.
Anthony with the screen on Parker. He feeds it to Caldwell Pope. Back to Morris. The 3, that's good.
And how about that for a response?
Well, it sounded as though, or at least it looked as though it sounded like, we'll give you a 3, and then we'll take it right back.
Now here's Vasquez, guarded by Jackson. And here's Mayo from beyond the arc. But they'll get another chance. Vasquez, that's good.
And that putback about as easy a bucket as you're going to get.
Exactly what happens when you don't box out, Greg.
And now the first timeout called here for Detroit. The Milwaukee Bucks ended last season 41 up and 41 down, a perfect 500 mark, and they were the epitome, Clark, of average at the end of the season, and as you can see, even during it.
Well, they're a young team, but at one point, 17-17, also had an 11-11 record against the East and 6-6 against the West.
So for the Pistons, Andre Drummond's checked in for Joel Anthony. Ilyasova comes in for Marcus Morris, and it's Jody Meeks in for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Here in the second with about a minute and a half gone by. And Drummond kicks to Jennings. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there.
And the Bucks were average last season. I mean, they were 17-17. Also 7-7 at home, 10-10 on the road, 5-5 in the games leading up to that. So in every measurable way, they were 500.
And the first one at the line is good.
You know, just thinking back to that Milwaukee factoid again, I mean, the odds that we'll ever see something like that happen again are minuscule. I mean, that team was just destined to end up 41-41.
Michael Carter-Williams checked in for the Bucks. Brandon Jennings hits them both. Just a bit of an up-and-down year for the Pistons last season. Had some long winning streaks and some long losing streaks for first-year head coach Stan Van Gundy.
Yeah, Kevin, some would say it was addition by subtraction because they really went on that big run after they released Josh Smith. 7 straight wins for them at one point, and they also did have some giant lows.
Vaughn can't get it to go. Detroit's gone 3 of 6 tonight when they've let it fly from downtown. Drummond with a screen on Carter-Williams. Jennings passes to Dinwiddie. There's the feed to Meeks. From past the arc. Offensive rebound. Drummond working against Henson. Milwaukee in the lead. Vaughn, the pass to Monroe. Vaughn, he dishes it to Carter-Williams. Pass to Monroe. Feeds it to Antetokounmpo. Pocket 6. And count the basket. He was fouled, and he's going to the line for one more.
You know, those giant lulls were a big part of the Pistons' season. I mean, their biggest losing streak was 13 straight losses, and a lot of that you attribute to their defense.
Johnson, he's checked in for the Pistons. That's good from Antetokounmpo.
And the Pistons also went into a slump after they traded for Reggie Jackson. 1-9 after the trade deadline. That they would end the season on a better note, but truly they were streaky last season.
It's back to Jennings. The pass to Ilyasova. Rejected by Monroe. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Pistons will retain possession. Quarter number 2, around 3 minutes gone by. 5 on the clock. Now, here's Meeks. Antetokounmpo defending. Monroe sets a screen for Antetokounmpo. Middleton dishes to Antetokounmpo. Henson a screen on Ilyasova. Carter-Williams kicks to Monroe. Out of bounds. Detroit takes possession.
And a chance here to check out how the Bucks ranked in the NBA last season. First in steals, 7th in assists, and they were a top 10 team in field goal shooting. Pretty impressive.
And I really feel like they fed off their pressure defense. You mentioned all the steals. That got them out in the open court and created easy opportunities offensively.
Jennings against Carter-Williams. The drive by Jennings. Kicks it out to Johnson. The Pistons need to get off a shot here. Stolen by Middleton. And Carter-Williams with the slam. And an important part of every team's game, a look at the hustle stats for Milwaukee.
They've come out in attack mode on the defensive end. They've applied pressure and forcing turnovers.
You know, another thing they've done well, guys, this first half is challenge shooters and change shots. A bunch of block shots early. And when it comes to Michael Carter-Williams, guys, I feel like people either love him or they don't buy him at all. I mean, he has the size. He's a good athlete, plays hard. But he's also had some injuries, and he's been very inconsistent at times.
Count that one. Here's Antetokounmpo. 1:44 left in the second quarter. And Milwaukee calls their first time out of the game.
And I think everyone knew the Bucks would be much improved last season. But to see the jump into the middle of the playoff picture, I think that took everybody by surprise.
Now we have a chance. Let's take a look at the teams that led the NBA in rebounding last season. In fourth, the Pistons.
It was really an impressive campaign for their bigs. And honestly, I think the whole team did a great job of getting bodies on bodies and controlling that defensive backboard.
Carter-Williams against Johnson. Carter-Williams, the pass to Middleton. Henson. The Bucks working the ball around. Here's Carter-Williams, and another basket for Milwaukee. For the Bucks, their improvement, usually you see incremental progress. Even after losing key players, Clark, they shot up the standings.
And part of that, Kevin, was just growing as a team, coming together, and also improving the roster. Another part was that they were better than their record showed 2 years ago. Player development is part of the improvement.
Middleton on the wing. 58 seconds left now here in the second. Henson defended by Drummond. 6 on the shot clock. Henson dishes to Carter-Williams. Kicks it to Middleton. On deep. Oh! How did that go in? Pistons trailed by 9. They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Sure could, Kev. I mean, too many empty trips. They need some points.
Jennings kicks to Johnson. It's back to Jennings. The kick out to Ilyasova. Tried to come right back with the 3 of his own, but it's no good. Just 2 seconds between shot clock and game call. Middleton with it, and it's Johnson picking him up. Carter-Williams, the pass to Middleton. Just 5 on the clock. Lets a floater go.
Boy, that's a rebounding clinic right there. He boxed out and then went up aggressively and strong for it.
The clock runs out, and we're heading to halftime. Bucks ahead, up by 9. We'll see you after halftime for the beginning of the third quarter. The second half about to start here in just a few moments.
You look at what Middleton has done so far. He's got 11 points, and he's drained 3 3-point bombs so far.
Don't stop. Don't hesitate. Keep firing from out there when the shot's falling like this.
Our second half of basketball, and presented by Gatorade. Let's see who's all fueled up and on the floor to start the third. On the floor for Detroit, Jennings and Meeks in the backcourt. Ilyasova out there with Johnson. And it's Drummond in at the 5. Antetokounmpo can't get it to go.
And guys, how about Ilyasova last season shooting the basketball? Always a decent threat to score. His improvements in efficiency were amazing. He increased his field goal accuracy from 41 to 47% in only 1 year.
3-pointer. Another miss by Ilyasova.
Can't get anything to drop. I mean, the way he's going, it's probably not something he should try and shoot his way out of.
Well, they say you should shoot your way out of it, but his teammates probably have other thoughts in mind. The last thing they want to see him doing is continuing to cast that jumper up.
And it's Antetokounmpo penetrating. Fires from the line. That one goes. Count Antetokounmpo's got the first points of the second half up on the board for the Bucks. Pistons trailed by 11. Now a timeout called by Detroit.
And really, last season was one of improvement for the Pistons. They were able to shoot the ball better and better as the season wore on. Overall, they cut out the little mistakes that had bothered them back in 14. And a chance here to check out some stats on Chris Middleton. Last season's performance for him, 16th in three-point field goal percentage, and he was also among the top 20 in steals. That ability is more unique than folks realize. Very valuable defensively.
And one of the better three-point shooters in the league last year. As you said, he was filthy from downtown.
Drummond dishes to Jennings. And Antetokounmpo with the block. Carter Williams against Drummond. And that one's good. 6 points for Michael Carter Williams. As you said, Greg, the Pistons were a team that showed marked improvement. And Clark, they did clean up their play style as well.
Yeah, they got better from 2014 to 15 in terms of upping their assist and cutting down the turnovers. Just made it a much more enjoyable game to watch the way they play.
Johnson. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot two.
And guys, he's not the tallest or most imposing wing player, but Stanley Johnson has incredible strength and really unmatched confidence. One reason why so many were high on him in the draft.
That's good from Johnson. And for Johnson out of Arizona, Greg, his strength, as you were talking about, is his biggest asset. Helps that he has this incredible arm span. And Clark, you know what? He told me he likes to play the 2K game.
Yeah, he does enjoy that. He likes to play the real game, too, because he's hyper-competitive, and I think he's got a chance to be a superb defender at the NBA level.
And Johnson drops them both.
And Detroit with a 32-50 record last season. They didn't have any help from the schedule. They had a total of 22 back-to-back series on the year, tied for most in the league.
That's a two from Parker. No good. And it's Detroit the other way. The drive by Jennings. Johnson with it. He's picked up by Parker. Here's Jennings off the pick. And it's good off the glass. Greg, you just said the Pistons had a ton of back-to-back games. 44 were part of their back-to-backs, over half their schedule. Clark, they went 15-29 in those games.
And that's part of the reason why the NBA wanted to examine the schedule. I mean, it was a tough year for the Pistons. It's hard to get any momentum when you're playing that many back-to-backs.
Offensive rebound. Kicks it down to Middleton. Dishes it to Parker. Back to Middleton. Parker outside. Another miss by Parker. Pistons trailed by 9. Jennings kicks to Johnson. That falls. Great assist by Brandon Jennings. Jennings has got 3 assists tonight.
And no matter who it is, that kind of D isn't going to get it done.
Timeout called the Bucks. And guys, Brandon Jennings, some people love his chaotic game. Some can't stand it. One of the more polarizing talents in the NBA.
Yeah, I don't think he'll ever shoot for an efficient percentage or become a lockdown defender, Kevin. He's an offensive catalyst. He pushes the action, and he'll go on scoring binges, but I think he does more good than bad with his style of play.
Bayless the pass to Antetokounmpo. Nice ball movement by Milwaukee. And Bayless kicks to Henson. Now the dish to Bayless. And that time, also a missed shot.
And talking about Brandon Jennings, he has an endless bag of tricks. Keeping the ball literally on a string, makes behind the back, no look, and off the backboard passes few players would even try. That unpredictability, though, can make him difficult to check and often forces defenders into positions from which they can't recover.
Fast break, Milwaukee. Bayless leading the charge. And that one's good. That's 7 points for Giannis Antetokounmpo.
They are not rotating nearly quickly enough on defense down low. Got to get quicker there.
Just no resistance on the interior.
Now here's Jackson. Morris right side. He kicks it to Baines. Morris down to 5 on the shot clock. Fires for 3. And Henson pulls it down. Henson's got his 3rd rebound on the night.
You know, Brandon Jennings is that rare type of difference maker, a guy who can jumpstart your offense without turning the ball over. That's a valuable asset when you're trying to line up the W.
So it's Detroit now, trailing by 10. Next up for them, the Knicks coming out here to play. That game marks the first half of a quick 2-game homestand. Jackson drives in. Passes to Baines. Out of bounds. Milwaukee takes possession.
Well, as we take a look at the rankings, let's see where Detroit ended up last season. 4th in rebounding, 8th in lowest turnovers per game. And they were in the top half of the league in block shots. So not a very intimidating team, but nonetheless a solid defensive team.
Yeah, and going back to their rebounding, very few teams could outmuscle them inside. The size and toughness to scrap for every carom off the backboard.
Pass to Bayless. 6 to shoot. Poke loose. Tries to save it. Out of bounds. Detroit takes possession. And the Pistons, an entirely new group now out there. There's 37 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Outside Jackson. Outside Jennings. He feeds it to Ilyasova. Shot clock at 6. And there's Jennings. That's good on the assist by Ilyasova. And that's now 7 points for Brandon Jennings. Bucks leading by 7. Here's Vaughn. He passes to Copeland. And it's another Milwaukee shot right there going in. And we've watched 3 so far in this one. Bucks lead by 9. And we're just moments away from the start of the 4th quarter. Stay with us.
Tune in for a scary night of basketball. Halloween in the NBA. DeMarcus Cousins and the Sacramento Kings take on Chris Paul and the Los Angeles Clippers. This weekend, NBA action.
And we welcome you back. Glad to have you with us as more basketball is on the way. During the break, the players getting refueled with Gatorade. They're looking amped up and ready to get going once again. And a chance to catch up on some numbers here, the hustle stats for the Bucks.
We've seen them make the extra effort from a defensive standpoint, closing out airspace and sending shots back.
And guys, I think you've got to give them credit for the number of steals they've taken away. I mean, a lot of effort on the defense from them tonight.
They've got Chris Copeland Michael Carter-Williams is out there with Vaughn. Then it's Greg Monroe, and it's Plumlee in at the center position. That's the group for Milwaukee right now. Carter-Williams kicks to Plumlee. So the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
And in college, guys, Miles Plumlee had an unusual competitor at his position. It was his younger brother, Mason. I mean, they actually had to compete against one another for playing time.
That free throw, no good. Well, Greg, going back to those Plumlee brothers you were talking about, there is competition. And then, Clark, you know, there's this friendly rivalry that'll always exist.
Yeah, the brotherly competition, if you will. They have similar bodies and share some of the same attributes as well. Drafted in back-to-back years, both toward the end of the first round. A lot of parallels.
A lot of similarities, you're right. Bucks are a strong team last year at home to start the year, certainly. The whole league was marveling at their start. Much improved, Greg, from the season before, but fell off, Greg, a touch late in the season.
And, Kevin, credit Jason Kidd. I mean, he got this team off to that great start, particularly at home, and they built some confidence, and that helped propel them into the playoffs. Sad to say they were still near the bottom of the league, though, in attendance.
Very nice pickup of the offensive rebound. And once he gets his hands on it, you know it's going back up and back in.
Monroe sets a screen for Middleton. Plumlee dishes to Antetokounmpo, and stolen by Drummond. Goes up, throws down the breakaway jam.
Yeah, how about the sharp steal and then run out? It looks like they're ready to put the hammer down.
Well, we've been waiting for one of these teams, Greg, to pull away. Maybe that'll be a springboard for them.
Could be. A dunk like that coming off a great defensive play has to build some momentum.
Carter-Williams kicks to Monroe. Lock at 6. Drummond working against Plumlee. Good D by Drummond.
Oh, excellent interior D to force the miss.
His defensive ability is a big factor. I mean, there's no denying that.
Here's Johnson, and that one goes long.
Yeah, the Bucks ended, guys, with a 23-18 record at home. Really impressive for a young team. They didn't have the largest margin of victory because they won a lot of close games here at the Bradley Center.
Carter-Williams with it. The feet to Middleton. Rebound, Detroit. Drummond's got rebound number 7 for him tonight.
And one thing that made the Bucks so strong at home was their three-pointers. They're the top in three-point percentage here at home. And easy to get the crowd into it when you knock a couple down from deep.
There's been a change in his game compared to what we saw in the first half. I mean, he's scoring with a lot of confidence now.
Timeout called, the Bucks.
And guys, Brandon Jennings last season looked like he was finally becoming more efficient. He shot at the upper range of his career field goal percentage from 3 and the free throw line. And then suddenly the Achilles ended his season at 41 games played. Really unfortunate.
And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
Thanks, guys. I got a chance to hear what Jason Kidd was saying to his team. His message, don't even look at the score right now. We've got to make one play at a time and execute. That's how we'll take this thing home. Kevin, he's trying to keep him focused.
And Antetokounmpo gets it to go. Getting back to Jennings last season really did start out as one of his best. Not just the improvement, Clark, in accuracy. His turnovers per game were at a career low.
Yeah, that's what we have to watch out for with Jennings. I mean, he's still only 26 years old, Kevin, now. Plenty of time to continue to refine and hone his game. I think his best basketball is in front of him.
Ilyasova, covered by Monroe. Jackson misses.
Boy, that's got to be deflating and disappointing to miss a wide-open shot like that right in your wheelhouse.
Antetokounmpo kicks to Henson. Middleton outside. Antetokounmpo. And he hits it just before the shot clock expires. Antetokounmpo's got 4 this quarter.
Guys, his consistency in terms of shooting has really helped them seize control.
Time called here. The Pistons decide to talk it over.
Yeah, just frustrated by their lack of production offensively, and I can't blame them. I mean, they're getting the looks, but the shots just aren't falling.
Yeah, and the slump that they're having shooting the ball can take its toll on you if you're not mentally strong. So I like this timeout here to try to get those guys reset and refocus.
Jackson down low. Carter Williams covering. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. He doesn't hit the first, and that was the one they really wanted. He's got one more, though. And he can't get the second one to drop either. Coming up empty that time. Bucks leading by 6. And it's Middleton penetrating out of bounds. Detroit takes possession.
That's a major mental mistake. I mean, there's no other way for me to describe it. He didn't know where he was on the court. That's a basic fundamental. You have to be alert to where you are.
For Detroit, they've gone 3 of 7 from the floor in the fourth. That's a 42% mark in the quarter. Jackson against Carter Williams. It's stolen by Carter Williams. And here's the fast break. Carter Williams leading the way. He dishes it to Antetokounmpo. Carter Williams kicks to Middleton. Pass to Monroe. 6 on the shot clock. 11 feet away. And it's another Milwaukee shot right there going in. 1:16 left in the fourth quarter. Jackson drives in. Makes the lead pass. It's stolen by Carter Williams. By himself. And he makes it look easy, dunking it hard with one hand.
They just can't miss. Everything they put up, it seems, goes in.
You know, sometimes you're the bug, and sometimes you're the windshield. They are certainly the bugs tonight. Nothing going their way.
And I'm not even sure that I'd want to be the windshield.
No, maybe the windshield wiper.
Yeah,
right. Henson with the screen. Henson sets a screen for Carter Williams. And it's Middleton penetrating. Pocket 6. Monroe. No good with the layup.
Just too much of a deficit to overcome.
Just not enough clicks and ticks left on that clock in this one, Greg.
Now 8 seconds separating the two clocks. And here's Ilyasova outside. That's good, and Johnson with the assist.
And they came out smoking here from beyond.
And Greg, as hot as they are from out there, absolutely no reason at all not to just keep letting them fly.
Well, this one is winding down now. Milwaukee can watch the clock run out. And here is Antetokounmpo. And so the Bucks take the win. It was up for grabs right until the final seconds clock.
You know what? They showed their character in crunch time, though, doing what had to be done to send these fans home happy.
And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony, this is Kevin Harlan along with our 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. Last but not least, here is your Jordan Player of the Game, Chris Middleton.
I want you to know that it's our time. You and me bleed the same light. I want you to know.
DJ Khaled, Convict Music. We the best. Yeah, we taking over. Listen. Spread out with it. South Carolina. DJ Khaled. I get it 365, 12 months, 24/7. Gotta get it, I need it steady. No one give it all I give.
I'm Ernie Johnson. This is the NBA on 2K Sports. Glad to have you with us. Tonight, it'll be the Brooklyn Nets going up against the San Antonio Spurs. And off now to the AT&T Center with Kevin and the crew as they get ready to call the game.
Here are the starters for Brooklyn. They've got Johnson. Young out there with Brook Lopez. Then there's Wayne Ellington. And it's Jack in at the 1. And for the Spurs, Ginobili and Leonard on the wing. Duncan out there with LaMarcus Aldridge. And it's Parker in at the 1 spot. Nets were the hottest team and story a few years back, certainly, but last season they were put up for sale, surprisingly to some, Clark, midway through the year.
Yeah, that was odd timing given the new arena and rebranding. I mean, you would think after all that effort to rebuild the team, you would see it through.
It'll be the Nets off the tip. Now here is Jack. Feeds it to Young. Back to Jack. Passes it to Lopez. Duncan on him. And Jack kicks to Lopez. Clock at 6. Fires the 3. The shot no good. Good D by Parker. And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
Kevin, I had a chance to talk with head coach Lionel Hollins. They'll be up against a future Hall of Famer in Tim Duncan in this one, and I asked him how Duncan changes what they do on the defensive end. He relayed that he told his guys not to be over-aggressive with him in the post, saying, if we start fighting on every fake he throws our way, we'll all be in foul trouble. We can't let that happen. We'll see if they can avoid just that, guys.
Thanks, Doris. Now Ellington following the three-point attempt by Tony Parker. Here's Lopez. The shot's good on the assist by Johnson. Lopez has got the opening bucket of the night here for the Nets. And just over a minute played here in the start of the game. Ginobili outside. He kicks to Leonard. Good on the jump shot.
Nice pass. He got the ball right into his teammate's shooting pocket. On time and on target.
Looking at the last game for San Antonio, it was a win against Oklahoma City.
And the deciding factor in that one was their success from the floor. I mean, they just hit big shots time and time again.
Yeah, just the way you want it when you're the road team. Don't even give the fans a chance to get into it.
Johnson for 3. The shot misses. And San Antonio will go the other way with it. And this is their first time matched up with Brooklyn this year.
And really, this is a team that expects to beat everyone when they step on the floor, but they were only able to split the series last year.
And you look at how they match up. Certainly you could see them losing, but you would still expect them to come away with 2 wins.
Leonard connects in the foul line jumper.
The mid-range jumper is a high percentage shot for him, and when he's got that much room, forget about it. Well, you know that Kawhi Leonard has an incredible reach with his arms, but even his hands are just massive, measured at 10 inches long and 11 inches wide. Wow. He can be a matchup nightmare if he can get it in the paint.
Parker outside. And there's the pass to Ginobili. Shoots it up. Rebounded by the Nets. Well, to give some perspective on Leonard's hand size that Greg was talking about, Clark, those measurements, 11 by 10, are what you typically would find on 7-footers. Well, this kid's 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah, and I'm 6'9", and I'm about 9 by 7, okay?
Huh.
So that just lets you know.
Wow.
The only other hands comparable to that, Dr. J.
Ooh, huge. Looking at the last game for the Brooklyn Nets, it was a win against the Bulls.
And how about the game plan that was constructed for that one? I mean, it was apparent how powerless the D was to stop it.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I mean, they just didn't have an answer for anything they threw at them.
For Brooklyn, they've gone 3 of 5 shooting the ball so far. Johnson outside. Dishes it to Young. Back to Johnson. There's the 3. Ginobili grabs the board. San Antonio trailing here. Gives him the lead pass. Leonard the pass to Parker. Duncan with the screen for Parker. Double team on Parker. Here's Duncan. The shot is off. And Brooklyn will come the other way. And here is Jack. Ellington kicks to Lopez. Pass to Ellington. Back to Lopez. He's against Parker. Baseline jumper. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. It's on Kawhi Leonard.
And you've really got to also admire his steadiness. I mean, no matter what the situation is, he's not going to change his game and risk a drop-off. Very consistent in his approach and production.
First free throw is good.
And Brook Lopez, guys, started the season as the starting center for the Nets last year, but it didn't end up that way.
A platoon swap here for Brooklyn. He's off on the second. Lopez ended up coming off the bench for the Nets for a stretch last season. There was a lot of debate, Clark, if that was the right role for him.
Kevin, clearly there were differing opinions because as soon as it happened, every GM called Brooklyn up to see if Lopez was available.
From deep, Green, and it's good. Green's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. Brooklyn trailing. 55 seconds left to play here in the first. The feed to Larkin. And they come right back with their own three-pointer.
Both teams trading punches back and forth. This thing's like a heavyweight fight.
The momentum swing, really impossible to keep track of. The energy in the building just keeps going back and forth, ebbing and flowing. I'm loving it.
West, guarded by Robinson. 7-foot shot, no good from West.
The defense did a really good job of choking off the middle there once he got inside.
5 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Lopez dishes to Larkin. And oh, here we go with Green. Nobody back. The big jump at the end of the break.
And a great job of taking advantage of the steal there to get those easy ones in transition.
You know, that's exactly how you draw it up, Greg, on the board. I mean, good defensive work, aggressive play in the open court. Those two things are hand in glove when they work together.
Here's Larkin. Tie game in San Antonio. The second quarter coming up right after this break, so don't go anywhere.
It's a Halloween broadcast of the NBA. Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors go up against Anthony Davis and the New Orleans Pelicans this Saturday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 Pacific. Up to this point, a closely contested game as we start the second quarter. And
looking at what we've seen from the Spurs so far, guys, what do you think?
They come out the gates here strong and put together just a solid first quarter.
A ton of good looks for him, Greg, on offense, and it's quality shots they're getting.
Here's McCallum.
There are certain things, guys, that you can always count on in life. Death, taxes, and, of course, the Spurs winning 50 games in the regular season. Happened for the 16th straight season last year.
Setting the floor for the Nets. Shane Larkin is out there with Carson. Then it's Thomas Robinson. Then it's Quincy Miller. And it's Bargnani in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. Here's Larkin. Back to Bargnani. And he gets it to go. Bargnani's got his first points of the game. Well, keeping in mind the Spurs have won 50 games or more for many years in a row, Greg, there are teams out there who can drive cars who have not even seen the Spurs not win 50 games, at least in a year.
And the way the Spurs keep on building this team, it's not as if that streak's going to end anytime soon. Those kids might have a chance to vote and do much more before they fail to see the Spurs win 50 games.
On the wing, Miller. There's the dish to Larkin. Back to Miller. Got a piece of it. Kicks to Mills. He feeds it to McCallum. Green, the pass to McCallum. Shot clock at 6. Mills. That's good on the jump shot. Mills has got 5 points so far. Second quarter of play with around 2 minutes gone so far. And the first timeout called of the game for Brooklyn. Well, the Spurs just don't go on losing streaks very often, Greg. One perk of being a talented veteran group.
Yeah, how about the Spurs lost 4 games in a row twice last year. Over the last decade before that, Kevin, they had only lost 4 games in a row twice. Unbelievable.
A big group substitution here for Brooklyn. Thaddeus Young. He's checked in for Thomas Robinson. Johnson comes in for Quincy Miller. Wayne Ellington's checked in for Sergei Karasov. And Jarrett Jack has subbed in for Shane Larkin. Ellington kicks to Jack. Bargnani. Aldridge is covering. Bargnani down low. Aldridge on him. And stolen by Aldridge. Leonard attacking.
And you look at the Spurs and how they avoid losing streaks. I mean, most teams losing 4 in a row wouldn't be such a big deal. It's only a big deal for the Spurs because they're so consistent year in and year out.
And guys, for the Spurs, a big reason they rarely go on losing streaks is that they have no bad matchups. One of only 3 teams in the NBA last year to defeat every other NBA team. Winning for this group is just second nature.
You know, the Nets really kind of drifted along for the first part of last season, treaded water, but after the All-Star break, they stepped on the gas, put themselves right back in the playoff picture.
The Nets making a switch here. McCullough's checked in. That's also good. So he hits both free throws. As you mentioned, the Nets were great after the break, had the 3rd best record post-All-Star break in the East.
Yeah, and how about winning 13 of their first 22 after the break? And sometimes with a new coach and system, it takes a while to kind of figure things out. And that seemed to be the case with the Nets last year.
And he gets it to go.
You know, he's going to continue to bury those if that's how they're going to D him up.
San Antonio's gone 1 of 2 on 3-pointers here in the second quarter so far. Outside Leonard. He dishes it to Duncan. Parker. Outside Leonard. Pass to Duncan. 6 on the shot clock. There's Parker with the 3 from beyond the arc and then some. Parker's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game. Nets trail by 5. Outside Jack. Johnson. Back to Jack. A 3-ball. San Antonio with the rebound. It's off to Boston for him after this game as they take on the Celtics. That one will start off a 3-game road trip for the team. Parker kicks to Leonard. Feeds it to Aldridge. Backs him down. Leonard for the 3. Jack with the rebound. Kawhi Leonard with another great season last year, earned his first Defensive Player of the Year award with his outstanding play.
And for Leonard, he became the first perimeter player to win one since 2004. That just shows you how incredible his defense was at times.
Here's the list of players who had the most steals in the NBA last season. Kawhi Leonard on top.
There were so many nights when he controlled the game through his defense. Not a surprise to see him ranked at the top.
The Spurs have gone 3 of their first 5 shots to drop here in the second quarter. Ginobili dishes to Aldridge. He passes to Leonard. 1:41 left here in the second. 6 to shoot. Got it. Good job in the low post. Leonard's got 8 points. 1:27 left to play in the first half. Outside Jack. Johnson, the pass to Young. The kick out to Jack. Launches it. The shot is off. Now San Antonio takes it the other way. Outside Leonard. Ginobili outside. No good on the 3. Nets trail by 4. Johnson outside. Passes it to Jack. Off the left rim and out.
I tell you what, folks. I bet he won't miss that shot next time he takes it.
Ginobili kicks to Leonard. And the foul called on Joe Johnson. That'll be his second foul of the game.
He's jammed himself up a little bit here with that second foul. But as long as he can avoid a third before the half, I think he's fine.
Brook Lopez is checked in for the Nets. .41 seconds left now here in the second. Ginobili outside, releases, and the jumper falls for him. 32 seconds left in the second quarter. Johnson against Leonard. Johnson dishes to Lopez. It's good, and he drew contact on the shot, so he will go to the line. A 3-point play chance here. The Nets shooting their 3rd free throw shot of the game.
In the season ago, they hit about 75% of their free throws.
And the Nets making a change here. That's good from Brook Lopez. Spurs leading by 3. Leonard kicks to Parker. West a screen on Jack. Parker passes to Leonard. Outside Green. That's a 2 from Parker. No good on the buzzer beater. And so it's a close game as we wrap up the first half of basketball. It's the Spurs. They lead by 3. Live from the AT&T Center in San Antonio, you're watching 2K Sports. Well, both sides have assessed what they need to do over the break in halftime. We'll see now if one can pull out a way here in the third. You have to like what we're seeing so far from Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, he's played just a smart game overall offensively, looking for and finding the gaps in the defense, and also terrific shot selection.
Greg, that's exactly what we're talking about when we talk about being efficient as an offensive player. Fully on display there with him.
In the backcourt, Parker and Ginobili. Aldridge out there with Kawhi Leonard. And it's Duncan in at the 5 down low. So that's who Greg Popovich starts the second half with. And there's the foul on the shot. He'll go to the line for 2. Watching Brook Lopez, he all the time contributes in every category. It's amazing the number of Clark ways he affects the game.
Deadly with the shot. Tremendous touch back to the basket, moves, facing up, makes free throws. Good offensive rebounder, capable passer. He just makes things happen.
That's good from Brook Lopez.
And talking about Lopez, he does clean the glass on the offensive end. He was 12th in offensive rebounds last year. However, he was 44th in defensive rebounds. That's one important area he definitely has to work on.
Brook Lopez hits them both.
You know, getting back to Lopez, how good is it to have a guy with his offensive package also be a near top 10 shot blocker for you? That's what he was last season and several seasons before that. He's an all-star talent if he can just stay on the court and stay healthy.
Parker dishes to Duncan. 6 on the shot clock. That's good. 8 points for Manu Ginobili.
A wide open 3. They need much better communication defensively.
Nets trail by 7. And Jack kicks to Ellington. Little over a minute gone here in the second half. Young passes to Ellington. And he can't answer back. The three-pointer offline. San Antonio's gone 5 of 9 when they put up a three-point shot tonight. Parker with it. Now Jack defending. Parker outside. He kicks it to Ginobili. This one for 3. And again, it's San Antonio with a 3.
They're going back to the three-point shot over and over and over.
And they may have found the Achilles heel of this defense. That was their 9th straight point from beyond the arc.
Timeout called, the Nets. This season, Clark, the Spurs kept on winning as usual. They passed the Lakers, in fact, for the best winning percentage all time for a franchise.
Well, some of that has to do with the struggles the Lakers had last season, but more of it is credit to the Spurs. Consistency and high-quality play has been who they are and have been for 2 decades.
Leonard against Johnson. Lopez dishes to Johnson. A three-pointer off the mark.
And with the Spurs and their winning percentage, it's right above 60. Not bad for a team that joined the NBA back in 1977.
Aldridge sets up the pick now for Parker. Off the screen. And there's Ginobili. That's good on the assist by Parker. And it's a 12-point Spurs lead.
Excellent ball movement there, guys.
And that's keyed this run. Passing it with purpose. The D hasn't been able to keep up.
A lot of the Spurs' success, guys, with their winning percentage has come since the 90s. The way they are put together, who knows how high they can push that franchise winning percentage.
San Antonio calls timeout. After the Nets' big moves the past couple years, they were looked at as an older team, but you break it down, and you know, Greg, they're not as old as you think.
Actually had the 5th youngest team of anyone in the postseason. And so, though they seem older just because so many of their players had playoff experience or came into the league at a young age.
Here's what Brooklyn's going with right now. Bargnani comes in for Brook Lopez, and it's Thomas Robinson in for Thaddeus Young. Johnson over to help. Leonard kicks to Parker. And the basket by Diop.
He was the first one to react to that miss. Excellent anticipation on his part. A hustle play on the putback by him.
Nets trail by 11.
And, you know, for the Nets, the roster's average age was about 2 years younger at the end of the 2015 season than where they were at the end of 2014. They made a point to get younger. How sweet was that one? Jack has a great-looking shot.
San Antonio's gone 6 of 10 from three-point range, up over 50% for the ball game. Parker passes to Mills. No good with the triple.
And even though the Nets were younger last season, they were tough in tight games, playing really like a bunch of veterans, and went 10-2 on the year in games decided by 3 or fewer points.
Parker drives in. The pass to Mills. Back to Parker. Dishes it to Aldridge.
Get through, get through, get through.
Shot clock at 6. It's stolen by Jack. 1:57 left to play in the third. Pass to Bargnani. Back to Jack. Nice ball movement by Brooklyn. Johnson dishes to Bargnani. Just 5 to shoot. Shoots a fader. A shot by Ellington, no good.
And the fadeaway was the only option he had on that one. Defender there all over.
Parker drives in. Kicks it out to Leonard from the arc. Rebound, Brooklyn.
And Thomas Robinson has been on a lot of teams here in his short time in the league. Not easy to find a spot when you're always getting moved.
And Jack kicks to Johnson. They double team Johnson. Clocked, but they recover it. Leaps for it. Here's Ellington. And he can't bank that one in. Spurs leading by 9. And for Robinson, the trade's way on him as well. Clarkie said last season that he just wants to prove that he belongs here.
Well, you know, he's yet to find the right fit for a team, but the skill set is clearly there. I mean, he's an NBA player. There's no doubt about that. Looked great for Philadelphia near the end of the year as he got minutes with them.
And he gets it to go. Parker's got 5 now. 35 seconds left in the third. They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Sure could, Kev. I mean, too many empty trips. They need some points.
Johnson kicks to Bargnani. Back to Johnson. And there's the feed to Ellington. It's good with the assist that time from Johnson. Ellington's got his 3rd basket of the night. San Antonio's gone 3 of 5 with the long ball since entering the second half. Mills with it. He has 5. Parker outside. 1 second left. And it's San Antonio with another.
And I want to see more of that from him. I mean, he's been passing up on his shot more than usual, even though he's hitting the ones that he takes.
Well, through 3 quarters of play, down double digits, it may be difficult to overcome. Spurs lead by 10. And time for the short break, and stay right where you are. The 4th quarter is coming up next.
Bring your costume. It's Halloween in the NBA. DeMarcus Cousins and the Sacramento Kings take on Chris Paul and the Los Angeles Clippers. This weekend, NBA action.
Well, welcome back as we get set to start the 4th. Nets trail by 10, all fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade for the 4th quarter. Setting the floor for the Nets. We've got McCullough, Quincy Miller out there with Shane Larkin. Then it's Brook Lopez. And it's Young in at the small forward.
Boy, such outstanding patience and decision-making for them offensively.
Absolutely. Their ball movement has been outstanding, and they're piling up the assists.
Parker outside. Ginobili covered by Miller. Down to 5 on the shot clock. San Antonio needs to get off a shot here. Parker's shot is off. Brooklyn's gone past the three-point line for 13 of their shots. 6 of 13. And it's Miller penetrating. Larkin. Pass to McCullough. Out to Miller. Now the dish to Larkin. Off target from outside. Spurs leading by 8. Manu Ginobili on the wing. Covered by Miller. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
And listen, the Nets had an up and down year on offense last season, but the one thing they always did was finish their drives. Very good at getting things to drop off the bounce. That was a strength last season.
That free throw missing for the Nets, and they're driving. They were fantastic, Clark. Second in the league last year in field goal percentage off those drives.
And a big reason for that is the strength and size of their guards, because they all can finish in traffic, and that's how you get high shooting percentages. You have to make tough shots against contact.
Joe Johnson, he's checked in for Brooklyn. And he's good on the second. It's not really a surprise at this point, but the Spurs were in the playoffs last year. 18th consecutive appearance.
Yeah, and they weren't in that usual top 3 spot, though. Although had they won the last game instead of being the 6th, they would have been the 2nd.
Right.
Didn't have that home court advantage, and as they went up against the Clippers, it really cost them in that 7th game. And he's really shot the ball well, but it hasn't been contagious.
And against the Clippers, the Spurs didn't have home court advantage. I mean, ended up playing a big part in that series. They ended up losing in Game 7 in Staples with some questionable timekeeping, but that's not why they lost.
That's good from Brook Lopez.
And that Spurs series sure didn't feel like a first-round matchup. I mean, you could have easily have seen either team playing for the title, regardless of who won the series. Both teams acknowledged that it felt like a conference finals matchup.
Aldridge backing in. Back to Leonard. Good, and Aldridge gets the assist. And 12 points for Kawhi Leonard. Nets trail by 9. Johnson kicks to Ellington. Lopez covered by Duncan. Nets passing it around. Johnson attacking. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Spurs leading by 7. Ginobili the pass to Aldridge. And stolen by Ellington. Oh, and a fast break for the Nets. Ellington leading the charge. Kicks it to Jack. He feeds it to Lopez. Back to Jack. He dishes it to Ellington. Offline with his 3.
You know, 9 times out of 10, he's going to knock that one down. He'll spray that one on you.
Parker kicks to Ginobili. Pass to Duncan. From 8. Good. And the Spurs lead by 9. Brooklyn's gotten off to an 0 for 2 start from downtown here in the 4th quarter. Johnson kicks to Ellington. Back to Johnson. Lopez right side. Duncan is there. And out of bounds as San Antonio gains possession. Look at the clock. A little under 3.5 minutes gone here in the 4th. Spurs leading by 9. San Antonio calls timeout.
Well, they were getting tired out there. A quick timeout gives them an opportunity to catch their breath.
Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Guys, thank you. I got a chance to hear what Greg Popovich was saying to his team. His message was this: all of us know these guys are capable of exploding and putting up points in a hurry. So I don't want to see anybody letting up until that final whistle blows. Guys, back to you.
Fourth quarter of play, and over 3.5 minutes have gone by.
He just has not been able to get into that groove yet, guys. But as a whole, it hasn't affected them too much.
And the Executive of the Year award is an odd one. I mean, given yearly to the executive that was deemed to have had the best year with their roster, that is perhaps the hardest thing to evaluate.
No good on that one. He hits the second from the line.
The story in the first half was their low free throw percentage. They've corrected that here in the second half, and hopefully they can build on it as this game continues to progress.
Parker dishes to Ginobili. Back to Parker. Lock at 6. Shakes off the strong D and gets the bucket for 2. And the Spurs lead by 10. And for the Executive of the Year award, it's hard to evaluate because for GMs, Clark, it takes years of moves to reach a certain point.
Yeah, it's an annual award, but it's awarded for years of decisions, if that makes any sense. One big signing or trade isn't quite enough to win the award.
.158 left in the fourth quarter. Feeds to Ellington. He passes to Lopez. Ellington buries the long-range jumper.
He's putting on a commanding performance here. He's hit 2 3-pointers in each half now.
Tries to save it, and that's out of bounds. San Antonio will retain possession.
Risky pass in a situation like that. Very lucky that wasn't a steal.
Fortunate to get it through. I thought he was headed the other way with that one.
Clark, if they want to, they can milk the clock just a little bit here.
Amen. I think that's the best option.
It's Parker with the drive. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2.
Looking at the game Parker's been having, he has 9 points and a decent little assist total for him, too.
No doubt they'd like to see that carry over to the rest of the team. Get good assist numbers all the way around.
He drops the first one, and that stretches their lead to 8. And so both free throws are good, and it's a 9-point ball game. The Nets have gotten 4 of their 6 shots to fall so far here in the fourth. A pretty nice efficiency there. Johnson kicks to Jack. That's in, coming off an assist from Johnson. Johnson's got his 3rd assist on the night. Spurs leading by 7. Duncan outside. Pass to Ginobili. 1:15 left in the fourth quarter. Leonard kicks to Ginobili. And he's good on the 3-ball. Ginobili's got 14 points now in the second half.
Man, he is just really in a flow right now. That field goal percentage has gone through the roof.
Ellington, the pass to Lopez. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. Tim Duncan picks one up. And let's quickly check out the scoring breakdown here for San Antonio.
So far, they've turned in a fantastic performance from the three-point line. It's been a weapon all game.
And I also love the way they move the basketball. Their passing has been outstanding here in the second half.
So the first one drops, and that brings them within single digits. Both good from the line that time. Now Ginobili. 56 seconds left in the fourth. Jack against Parker. Back to Ginobili. He kicks it to Leonard. Aldridge. The turnaround jumper. And another basket for San Antonio.
And they're not finished just yet. They're going to make sure about this one.
Yeah, not taking any chances, Greg. This is how you close a game out. Textbook.
Here's Johnson. And he drops in the layup off the glass. Guys, you've got to think a basket here would seal.
No question about it. That would be all she wrote.
Now 8 seconds separating the two clocks. Back to Parker. Aldridge with a screen on Jack. Parker with it. And Young picks him up defensively.
Your Spurs, Tony Parker. 2 shots.
And the first of 2, no good, heartbreaking. A big group substitution here for Brooklyn. And the second of 2 is good. That will put them up by 9.
A slight hiccup at the line, but he did what he needed to finish this game off.
Now a timeout call by Brooklyn. They're behind by 9. 15 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Guys, your thoughts?
Yeah, they can game plan all they want, but unless they can put more time on the clock, I think this bad boy's over.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what they hope to get accomplished with this time out here.
.15 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. There's a screen by Robinson. Now the pass to Bargnani. Off target with his 3. And so it's San Antonio with the win. Some good competition, but the hometown advantage and their ability to stay focused, I think, Clark, made the difference.
Well, you know, at this stage, you've got to defend your home floor, and they did that.
And that'll wrap it up, folks. For Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. As Jordan presents the player of the game, Manu Ginobili.
want you to know that it's our time. You and me bleed the same light. I want you to know that I'm...
Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ernie Johnson. You're watching the NBA on 2K Sports. Tonight, we'll be watching the Minnesota Timberwolves playing against the Denver Nuggets. And we send you out now to Denver for the opening tip. Kevin Harlan standing by.
Always a special moment in the pregame ceremonies. The playing of the national anthem as the teams gear up for the tip. It's NBA basketball on 2K Sports. We're glad you can join us on this exciting Friday night matchup. This is Kevin Harlan with Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg alongside. And our sideline reporter tonight is Doris Burke. We've got a chance now for our starting lineups from point guard to center. This game should be a good one. And guys, check it out, Ricky Rubio. What can we expect here?
And also, there aren't many players better at anticipating an opponent's next move, waiting for his moment and then jumping in the way of a pass to come up with the steal. He's got that mastered.
And a one-game homestand for Denver as the Nuggets will try to recharge their batteries on their home court. This their first chance to take a look at the Timberwolves this season. Last season, they had the upper hand in the series, going 3-1 against these guys.
And they won the season series against this club last year, but, you know, then again, so did a lot of other teams.
Hey, Greg, we got to be honest here, which is really the only way I roll. Neither of these teams are world beaters. I mean, but you've got to start somewhere. A win tonight would be a step in the right direction.
Now, here's Wiggins. Feeds to Martin. 6 to shoot. Lets it go. Shot is off. Now Denver takes it the other way. Tough loss coming against the Rockets in the last game they played.
And the issues they had defensively, in part, I thought, was a huge factor. Really compounded, I think, because it was a road game for them.
Well, you know, they gave the crowd a bunch to cheer about. And when you do that, you put yourself in a really tough position trying to come away with the road win. You know, when you're bad or struggling in the West, things can go south in a hurry. I mean, the Wolves ended with the worst record in the league last year at 16-66. And a lot of those losses came in their confidence.
And here's 4. Following Kevin Martin's 3. Chandler, the pass to Fareed. Back to Chandler. And he drops in the layup off the glass.
Really good awareness right there on the assist.
Minnesota comes into this one following a loss to the Lakers in Los Angeles.
And the effort down the stretch, those final few minutes of regulation, you know, that's what they needed, but they were burnt out in the overtime.
Yeah, that's a good call, Greg. I mean, there was a little bit of a letdown for them in OT, and that can happen after you expend so much energy just to force the overtime.
Martin with the bucket.
And off to a strong start offensively. He's got a nice touch.
And here's 4. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against the Rockets in Houston. Chandler outside. Just 5 to shoot. Takes it into the teeth of the D and converts the layup. Chandler's got his second basket. For Minnesota, they've gone 2 of 3 here to start off the game. Now let's find out what head coach Mike Malone had to say to Doris Burke. Doris?
He talked about how much respect he has for Kevin Garnett, saying he's just the ultimate competitor. He's unselfish, plays for his teammates, but we've got to really have our motor revving and play with a lot of intensity. We cannot let him outwork us. Kevin looked for a real physical game.
Thank you, Doris. Chandler attacking. Fareed uses both ends to slam it down.
And that's how it's done. I mean, find that hole in the D and then go hard to the rack.
Maybe that hole was a little bigger than it should have been.
Well, it was. I mean, a tight game like this one, you'd think they'd have a little more energy at the defensive end than that. You know, when I think of Wilson Chandler, what comes to mind is supreme athleticism. He can throw it down with the best of them. Yet he's still working on the other areas of his game to be more well-rounded.
Now, Moutier following the miss by Martin from deep. Foy dishes to Moutier. sorts of time. And that one hits back iron. You know, back to Wilson Chandler, he's somewhat of a wild card. One of the few guys to go overseas. Remember, Greg, during that NBA lockout in 2011, he signed to play for China and didn't negotiate an out clause when he signed.
Yeah. And truth is, Chandler's one of those guys who can give you some solid minutes, but you hope at some point that he gets serious and commits to reaching his full potential.
And Voigt kicks to Chandler. To Fareed, and there's the goal on Karl-Anthony Towns. That is his first foul of the game. Whole new look on the floor for Minnesota. Dishes it to Gallinari, shoots, and again, Denver no good.
And you really thought that was going to be a gimme, but unable to convert.
Yeah, and a little self-talk, angry self-talk for himself after that miss. D there, guys, was pretty much non-existent. I mean, you can't leave a good shooter like that open.
Nuggets have gotten 4 of 6 field goal attempts to drop in the first quarter. Nelson outside. Back to Nurkic. Kicks it to Barton. He feeds it to Nelson. Out of bounds. Minnesota takes possession.
A look now at where the Timberwolves ranked in the NBA last year. 6th in free throw percentage. 9th in steals. As for the assist numbers, not as strong for them. Top 20 in the league. They certainly are capable of much better in that area.
And you look at their free throw percentage, not to be overlooked. I mean, this was a team, I thought, that did a really good job of taking advantage of their opportunities.
And it goes as the official calls the foul. Count it. He'll shoot one more at the free throw line.
And when you watch him, Steve, you can see how quickly he looks to take his shot when he's on the receiving end of a pass and how successful he is when he does take the shot. This guy is a catch, fire, and hit guy.
Joey Dorsey's checked in for Yusuf Nurkic. And the free throw, no good. The Nuggets missed the postseason again last year. Never really had a good look at it and just fell in the back of the pass.
And it's the second straight year of not playing playoff basketball in Denver. This coming on the heels of 10 straight bursts between 04 and 13.
Free throw drops for Nelson.
And, you know, for Denver, historically, they've enjoyed a lot of success for a long time. I mean, missing the playoffs consecutively might have been the wake-up call they needed to try something different going forward.
Now, here is Miller. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Bielitsa passes it to Miller. There's the triple. Rebound by the Nuggets.
And listen, it's sometimes really hard for teams like the Nuggets to know when to rebuild. So while they weren't quite sure what they had coming in the last season, by the end of it, they had a clear idea of what direction they needed to head into for the future.
Minnesota with the ball. Denver able to drain the three. Guarded by Nelson. Shot from 6. Good on the jump shot. For Denver, they've gone 6 of 9, shooting it well. Here's Barton. Pass to Nelson. This one for 3. Another 3 for Denver. Here's Muhammad. The shot will not go. And that does it for the first quarter. Nuggets lead by 5. Stay with us as we get set to bring you the second quarter right after this.
Tune in for a scary night of basketball. Halloween in the NBA. Derek Favors and the Utah Jazz take on Monte Ellis and the Indiana Pacers. Live this Saturday night.
And now the second quarter just getting set to start. And from what we've been watching, guys, with the Nuggets, what are you seeing out there?
You know, it's been about how solid they've been offensively here, really tuned in with one another.
Good ball movement, and it's paid off on the scoreboard.
Denver leading by 5. There was a time when the media had written off Shabazz Muhammad as an impact player we showed last year. He belongs in this NBA.
Yeah, certainly did. I mean, he improved in every facet of the game, and sometimes we tend to write guys off a little too soon, Kevin. The media in general, not you in particular. He's been a big-time performer for the Wolves.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, as the second quarter gets going. On the court for Minnesota, Andre Miller is out there with Shabazz Muhammad. Then it's Payne, then it's Anthony Bennett, and it's Bielitsa in at the small forward position. And it's wide right. It's off the rim.
And for Muhammad, it's weird that so many fans have given up on a player just after his rookie season. I mean, he's vindicated anyone who stuck with him after his slow rookie start.
Miller kicks to Bielitsa. Second quarter, and we're just over a minute in. He dishes it to Payne. 13 feet away. Good on the shot.
And for Muhammad, a lot of it had to do with the hype he got in college, coupled with his age situation. So when he struggled, people were too quick to write him off. But he has showed he can ball.
And Denver decides to take their first time out here. And we've seen it all, guys. The Nuggets have been in free fall the last couple of years. Part of that is the play at home, where GA, they used to be invincible.
You remember back in the day, Kevin, I mean, one of the most difficult places to play was in Denver. I mean, you're dealing with the thin air, but that hasn't been the case here of late.
George Karl just prided his team on what they did at all. Whole new look on the floor for Minnesota. And Voigt kicks to Chandler. Moutier. Fareed dishes to Moutier. Second quarter of basketball, just over a minute and a half played. And the foul on Andrew Wiggins. That is his first foul of the game. Kevin Garnett, he's checked in for Anthony Bennett. Denver with the ball. Leading by 5. The dish now to Chandler. And there's the feed to Moutier. Clock at 6. Back to Chandler. For the 3. That's good. Chandler's got 7 points in the game.
You know, Denver ended with a 19-22 record at home last season, and that's a far cry from when the Nuggets would typically win 30 or more games at home.
Right side, Martin. There's the pass to Towns. Back to Martin. And Fareed sends it back. And they're able to recover. And the shot counts. He's fouled, and it's a chance for a three-point play. It's going to be Garnett shooting. That one on Chandler. And let's quickly check out the scoring breakdown here for Denver.
Boy, the three-point shot has really been dropping for him early on.
And also, it's been a positive to watch that they've attacked the paint offensively as well. It's really been about the balance that they've shown.
A free throw good from Kevin Garnett.
And you'd have to go all the way back to their dreadful 2003 campaign to find the last time the Nuggets went below 500 at home. Very strange to see them be just mediocre in this building last season.
And Voigt kicks to Chandler. The 11-footer. So the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there. A young team trying to find their place in the league can have it tough on the road, Clark, and the 2015 Timberwolves typified that sentiment.
In spades, 7-34 on the road last season. Dead last in the West as they won only 3 road games against the rest of the conference.
And the first one drops.
And with the Wolves on the road, that they shot threes better and had better offense, they would still lose by double digits on average.
He's perfect from the line this time.
You know, guys, for the Wolves on the road last year, it was hard because they are in the West. I mean, we've talked before about how far they have to travel as a team for their road game.
And Rubio kicks to Martin. Another miss by Martin.
Not able to find it here in the second. He's off stride and off track just a bit after that one he had early.
Lets a floater go, and it's Moutier getting it to go. Moutier's got his second bucket.
You know, he didn't need to make the layup complicated. I mean, it's not a trick shot contest, but he decided to go for a little extra flavor on that one.
He kicks it to Martin. Passes to Wiggins. Hands it from downtown.
Most any NBA player can make you pay when you leave them that wide open. That's why you have to stay alert on defense.
The Nuggets leading by 6. And almost 4 minutes gone here in the second quarter of play. There's Foy with the 3 out of bounds. Minnesota takes possession.
Well, let's look back to last year's Nuggets while we've got a moment here, Kevin. 7th in rebounding, 12th in scoring, and they were in the top half of the league in assists as well. Not elite level, not quite good, but okay.
And I like how they held their own on the boards. I mean, that's so critical. They brought that effort and fortitude to battle every night, just never backing down.
Timeout called, first of the game for Minnesota.
And, you know, Denver was not that good against the West last season, but they weren't as bad as you would have thought. Managed to get 19 wins against the rest of the conference, and we know how tough the West is, so that's not shabby.
The Nuggets making a switch here. Nurkic is checked in. Feeds it to Martin. Back to Rubio. Pass to Martin. 6 on the shot clock. An easy layup after coming off the pick. And now it's just a 4-point Denver lead. Well, and last year for the Nuggets, they were really searching, and they finished 12th in the Western Conference. Greg, they were 30 and 52.
You know, not a great place to be.
No,
let's face it. I mean, Kevin, Denver never really had a shot at the postseason, but weren't good enough to land a high draft pick out.
Moutier with the basket. 1:30 left to play here in the second quarter. Now, here's Rubio. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. And that one's good. Wiggins.
Perfect screen there. Set him up with a terrific look.
Yeah, I like the fact that the setup was good, the screen was solid, but you also have to look at the fact that the defender didn't do his job as well as he could have.
And it's Foy missing. Timberwolves trail by 3. Wiggins drives in. Back to Rubio. Outside, Martin. Shot clock at 6. Again, Martin missing.
Not really his best quarter as far as scoring. Let's see if he can eventually get back on track.
Offensive rebound, Moutier. Great D that time from Martin.
And typically he has the touch to finish when he's in tight, but not sure on that possession.
That's terrific defense right there to prevent from converting in close.
Foy with it. He passes to Moutier. Chandler outside. The 3. There's the bucket. Good. Chandler's got 8 points in the quarter. Here's Martin. On deep. An absolute bomb from 3-point range. And we're through the first half of basketball here in what's been a good one. The Nuggets on top, up by 3. From the Pepsi Center in downtown Denver, we're back in a moment. the start of the third quarter, welcoming you back in a closely contested first half so far. A fantastic game from Wilson Chandler in this one.
And in terms of points in that first half, you know, he's now at a point where we expect him to perform that way.
And Greg, that tells you all you need to know about what a talent he is. I mean, I'll bet he adds a lot more to his totals after the break.
Chandler and Fareed are at the forward spots. Foyle is out there with Moutier, and it's Hickson in at the center, filling out the middle. That's the group for Mike Malone getting going here in the second half. Wiggins passes to Rubio. Rubio left side. 6 to shoot. Higgins outside. To tie. Kenneth Fareed pulls it in. You would expect this with a young team, but the Timberwolves, Clark, really shied away from taking many threes last year.
Didn't have a lot of three-point shooters. I mean, about 17% of Minnesota's shots were threes, which was the lowest percentage in the league.
For the three, Chandler, good. Chandler's got the opening bucket to start the second half for the Nuggets.
Boy, I tell you what, he loves getting looks like that from the three-point line. No one near him. That's a warm-up jumper for him.
Wiggins inside the line. Again, Wiggins missing.
And for the Wolves, it made sense not to take a lot of threes as they didn't have a lot of three-point threats. I mean, you have to play to your strength.
Great move to the hoop on that one there. He didn't let his height disadvantage dictate that matchup.
Towns sets the pick for Rubio. Towns dishes to Wiggins. The Timberwolves again can't hit.
And, you know, with how young the Wolves are, their perimeter players, I think, will add the three ball to their game. That's the next progression for them. I think it'll help them stretch the floor and play to their strengths a little bit.
They're doing work here in the second half. 3 or 4 to start.
Minnesota calls timeout. In addition to going over the game plan and making whatever necessary adjustments have to be made, Greg, this timeout also the time for players to get rehydrated or hydrate for the first time with some Gatorade. Plenty of basketball still to be played here, and they have to get recharged.
That's a great point. Without proper hydration, a player can completely run out of gas down the stretch of a game. And that's something that none of these guys can afford to have happen. If you're going to battle all the way to the finish, you have got to be hydrated.
Looking at who's out there now for the Timberwolves. Gorgie Dangs checked in for Towns. And Anthony Bennett subbed in for Kevin Garnett. Martin kicks to Wiggins. Back to Martin. Right side Martin. Off the run, and it's good off the glass. Martin's got 12.
That one goes down, but offensively, just 1 of 4 to start the third quarter.
Now, Moutier, he has 6. Leans from outside. Rebound by Dang. You look at Gorgie Jang and his development in the league out of Louisville. What a big jump for him last season.
And that's a great point. That first year, you could tell the game was a little too fast, and he was a bit overwhelmed, but started to get more and more minutes throughout the season and really blossomed with the extra opportunity.
And it's Rubio penetrating. That's good.
He got a little room at the rim and laid it in. Great play.
Here's Barton. Dishes it to Moutier. Fareed, a screen on Wiggins. Shot off the pick. Rebound by Dang.
And Jang last season doubled his points per game. Got enough rebounds where he could be a double-double player every night in the near future.
Off the pick. And he jams it after taking the nice feed on the run.
And ran his man straight into the screen and got a clear path to the bucket.
That is how it is done.
Excellent team play there on the pick, and then he rips it down.
Martin passes to Hickson. And count the basket. He was fouled, and he's going to the line for one more.
And Yang isn't a young player by any means, but he has learned how to fill a niche on a team quickly. Just offers good numbers and intangibles in a lot of places on the stat sheet.
Looking at who's out there now for the Timberwolves. Nikola Pekovic is checked in for Anthony Bennett. Bielitsa comes in for Andrew Wiggins. And Shabazz Muhammad subbed in for Kevin Martin. Hickson no good on the free throw.
You know, the Nuggets could create their offense, but they still would have trouble knocking down the shots. Just didn't have a lot of dead-eye laser shooters. Every field goal attempt with them was an adventure.
Miller up on top, guarded by Nelson. And Bielitsa kicks to Pekovic from 13, and the Timberwolves tack on 2 more.
And whatever intensity was lacking there in the first half, you're seeing it on display here now.
Ditto that. I mean, things have really been turned up.
Nuggets did have their problems on the offensive end, too. Something that's rare for them, hitting the open shot and the mid-range shot and beyond being one of them.
You know, Kevin, how about being last in the league in catch and shoot field goal percentage? I mean, got a good amount of looks that way, but really struggled shooting only 34% in those situations.
Miller dishes to Jang. He feeds it to Muhammad. Bielitsa. And the baseline jumper, no good.
Another rebound hauled in. They're hitting the glass with a lot of passion.
Guys, that's been the key to their lead. I mean, simply put, the effort they've displayed on the glass has been the difference.
Near the three-point line, it's Nelson. Minnesota with the rebound.
Well, I tell you what, that's too good a look to pass up there. Even though it didn't go, that's one you got to take.
Miller, the pass to Pekovic. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
And guys, for Nikola Pekovic, NBA scouts said he needed work on his shot coming in. Yet he's money from mid-range at times, especially at the charity stripe. One of the best free throw shooting bigs we have in our league.
And that one falls for Nikola Pekovic. And back to Pekovic at the free throw line. Clark, he has consistently been around 75% for his career.
And Kevin, last season he got that number up to 84%. And he also gives you really good effort in the paint on both ends of the floor.
Here's what Minnesota's going with right now. Adrian Payne's checked in for Gorgui Dieng. Andrew Wiggins comes in for Bielitsa. And it's Martin in for Shabazz Muhammad. And so Pekovic nails both of them.
And last season, really a tale of 2 halves for the Wolves. When Ricky Rubio returned from injury, they just looked so much more in sync as a team.
Shot clock and game clock separated by less than 6 seconds.
Ooh, that's as forceful a finish as you're ever going to see out of this guy.
Well, gee, it adds now to their lead in spectacular fashion.
And, you know, that lead's only going to grow if they're not prepared to defend a little more staunchly than that.
And Rubio kicks to Martin. Left side, Martin. Here's Payne, and he uses the glass on the layup.
Some big points there. I mean, they got him on a nice play to get the ball right to the bucket.
And exactly what they're looking for down the stretch, Clark. Just more of the same.
And we've watched 3 so far in this one. Nuggets lead by 5. We're going to step aside for just a second, but join us right back here for the start of the 4th quarter. Next.
It's a Halloween broadcast of the NBA. DeMarcus Cousins and the Sacramento Kings take on Chris Paul and the Los Angeles Clippers. Be there.
Welcome back as we get rolling once more. The 4th quarter right ahead in what's been a very well-contested game. And a chance to catch up on some numbers here. Scoring breakdown for Denver.
What a tremendous showing from the three-pointer all through this game.
They've also jumped on any opportunity they've had to attack the basket tonight. I mean, excellent penetration.
And a look at the 5 for the Timberwolves to start the 4th. Rubio and Martin manning the backcourt. Payne out there with Anthony Bennett. And it's Wiggins in at the 3 spot.
And they haven't been able to turn it into a big lead, but their rebounding advantage is starting to add up.
Yeah, still close, but with their tough play on the board, we're certainly seeing the effort.
And tired legs affect you at the defensive end first, and that's what we're seeing here.
You called it, Greg. As much offense as we saw early, we're seeing even more of it here late.
And Rubio kicks to Bennett. Back to Rubio. Outside, Martin. Pass to Payne. Shoots from the baseline. That one a little long.
You love the closeout on that possession.
Excellent defense. Active, and he made it a very tough shot for him.
Fareed, a screen on Martin. Moutier with the basket.
They're forcing the ball inside, and it's working beautifully.
It really is. 5 out of 6 of their last field goals have come from the paint.
Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time getting the lid off the basket so far.
And the Timberwolves call time. Well, perhaps one of the most intriguing draft picks of this past summer, Emmanuel Moutier, can be a game-changing player. Was going to play, Clark, as you recall, at SMU for Larry Brown.
He sure was, and went overseas instead. So we don't know a ton about him other than his reputation is sterling. Now we'll see if he can live up to it.
Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Hey, Kev. Well, during that last break, I heard Flip Saunders addressing his team. He was emphatic. We're not getting it done, fellas. We've simply got to step up, get engaged, and try to battle back. Guys, we'll see if the pep talk gets him going.
Kevin Martin on the wing. Right side, Martin. A floater, and he sinks the layup.
And how about Moutier, guys? He has a very interesting upbringing. Born in the Congo, grew up in Texas, then spent last season in China. Already a very well-traveled young man for a player of his age.
Hickson sets the screen for Moutier. Foy covered by Martin. Good! And the Nuggets lead by 9.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Yeah, and that's 4 straight field goals now, Greg, they've allowed from point-blank range. Can't happen.
Moutier, and wrestling for it there, but no one has possession. We'll have a jump ball.
And you know, with Moutier, you can't ignore what he does on the court. He has amazing size at the point guard spot, excellent vision, and is a natural playmaker for his squad.
Denver leading by 9. A little over 2.5 minutes have passed here in the fourth quarter. They double him with Wiggins. Moutier kicks to Gallinari. Rebound, Minnesota. Zhang's got his 3rd rebound tonight. They host the 76ers after this game. That'll be the first of 2 straight at home. Rubio outside. Wiggins left side. Wiggins left side. And he hits it just before the shot clock expires.
Well, he could have earned some style points there, but he really doesn't need to use the fadeaway when he's that wide open.
Denver calls timeout. Kevin Garnett is checked in for the Timberwolves. And here's Foy. Gallinari dishes to Hickson. And that one is hammered home.
And guys, he saw his chance to earn a little camera time there. Took it.
Rocking the rim with some major force.
Lazy defense there, though, fellas. Somebody's got to be willing to put their body on the line and try to impede his path there.
And it's Martin missing.
Kevin, I didn't like that defensive effort at all, but they're lucky he missed it.
Yeah, you hope that's not indicative of the type of D they're going to play, because if they do, they're going to have struggles with him tonight.
Kevin Garnett with the steal. Rubio outside. Kicks to Wiggins. Kevin Martin on the wing. Back to Wiggins. 4 on the clock. With the fadeaway. Kenneth Faried grabs the board. Faried's got rebound number 5 here tonight.
And they continue to control the glass.
Guys, I think they've simply been the more physical team, and that's why they're ahead.
I don't know what's happening defensively, but they're not putting up any resistance.
I tell you what, it reminds me of one of my college coaches who used to say, that ain't going to get it done. That's 5 straight baskets in the paint now.
And Dang gets it to go. Now, here is 4. Molinari passes to Moutier. Faried, a screen on Rubio. Moutier kicks to Faried. And the rejection by Jang. Minnesota's gotten a lot of looks from outside tonight. 5 of 12. Martin attacking. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
It's been a solid outing for Martin. He has 14 points, and he's hit the mark twice from 3-point range as well.
And Clark, it's no stretch to say the more points he gives them from beyond the arc, the better off they'll be.
So the first one drops, and that brings them within 8. Minnesota making a switch here. Towns is checked in. All free throws good from Kevin Martin. Clark, they're in good position here to ride it out.
Yeah, they certainly are. I mean, if they just play smart right here, Kevin, this game's pretty much over.
Moutier with the ball. And it's stolen by Ricky Rubio.
This game's finally gotten away from him.
Yeah, it certainly has. I mean, there's not really much they can do at this point.
And it's Wiggins missing.
Excellent. Really solid job, actually, by the defense to get in his way as he was going up for that one.
Now, Moutier. So the Nuggets win it. It was up for grabs right until the final seconds, Clark.
You know what? They showed their character in crunch time, though, doing what had to be done to send these fans home happy.
And that'll do it, folks. For Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching as Jordan presents the player of the game, Wilson Chandler.
And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they say that. Quando eu me vi só nesse lugar, eu pensei